Hello there viewers, and welcome to part 5 of 2014, A Kubrick Odyssey. And in this part I'm going to be talking about Stanley Kubrick's 1956 feature film, The Killing. Now the way I'm going to be watching this is the Criterion Blu-ray, Region A locked obviously. Criterion give an amazing treatment to amazing films, and this one's no different. I'm hoping the transfer is very good. I've heard it is. I mean, I've kind of read reviews on Blu-ray.com and stuff like that, and yeah, very much looking forward to watching this one. So next up we have The Killing. So The Killing, directed by and screenplayed by Kubrick, so he didn't have quite as many jobs on this film. It tells a story of a group of men who decide to stage a robbery at a racetrack, but a series of backstabbing and misplaced trust threatens to kind of unravel the whole thing. Again, very well. It's again black and white. It's fully narrated. Kubrick really likes narration in his early, most of his films, actually, thinking about it. But again, it's another kind of time. This one is a bit longer. It's an hour and 24 minutes. So I mean, with his other films, like The Killer's Kiss was like just under an hour and 10 minutes. So you could kind of say that it's not particularly a feature film. But this one really is. It's an hour and 24 minutes. And it never drags or anything. Very well shot, like everything. Kubrick really likes to play around with lighting. Really great lighting in this film. Kind of like shadows when it's that kind of really good lighting. You can kind of, again, like most of the films, you can tell it's Kubrick from like one of the opening shots. It's good. So yeah, I'll get into why. Now Quentin Tarantino actually famously quoted that Reservoir Dogs was, or this film was a direct influence to Reservoir Dogs, and you can really see how it's got differing timelines. It flits in between kind of the future and the past. Each day is told from the perspective of different characters, and like the time kind of keeps going forwards and backwards, which is a really cool way of doing things. And it's not kind of set in time order, but it's set in kind of the order of how the film kind of wants you to find out things. Like each time you see a scene, like you find out more things, and how each character did kind of different things towards the robbery. Like each person had different jobs, and you kind of see how it all fitted together. Really interesting way of doing it. It kind of like, it was a cross between kind of Reservoir Dogs and kind of Burn After Reading. It kind of had that kind of like that farcical vibe where not really much things happen, but each thing that does happen is important to the overall story. Just the way the story all unfolds in front of your eyes is work of absolute genius. The scenes and stories kind of really fitting together very well, and you've always kept guessing of what's going to happen next and how it's all going to pan out, and that is a sign of a really good film. I mean, I always kind of transfixed to the screen. I was always compelled about kind of how the different story elements would kind of unfold from each other, and how you're always guessing of how the film was going to end, and the film ends really, really well. And of course, Kubrick famously had a falling out with James B. Harries from kind of the way that he wanted to shoot the film was very different to how he wanted the film to look, and they clashed a lot like that. And that's the first kind of evidence of how just how kind of tenacious, I guess, Kubrick was in kind of he would do anything in order to get the best out of the film, if you like, of how to make the film look its absolute best, which is obviously will kind of come into play a lot more kind of in his later career, and it's really interesting stuff. Always scenes of violence come out of nowhere. There's a scene in this kind of towards the end that very weirdly reminded of that scene from a Battle Royale with those when that girl gets poisoned and they all kind of turn on each other, and just this kind of ultra violence kind of just comes out of nowhere, and like. Or there's another scene as well. Again, like kind of Reservoir Dogs, kind of near the end with the Mexican standoff, and like they all kind of shoot each other, and it's like I say, it just comes out of nowhere, completely shocks you. You'd never see it coming. Basically, one of the guys who is performing the robbery, he tells his wife that because she's always kind of belittling him, saying that he's worthless, he never gets any money, and he basically tells her about this robbery, and she kind of blabs to her kind of secret lover, and they kind of tried to steal the money away from the guys who stole the money, if you like. And again, it's like kind of like Russian dolls, like every layer, or like an onion, like every layer you take off, kind of you see all the other layers. Kind of like each layer you take off, you can see the different layers underneath, which is a sign of a really good film, in my opinion. Like I say, it always kept me guessing. I never knew what was going to come next, and I loved it for that. You know, only downside, I can't really think of any downside really. I mean, yeah, there were a few scenes where it did lull a bit, and the again, like a lot of things happen in a short space of time. The pacing was a little bit off, and but yeah, that's the only downsides I can find of the Killing. Very solid film, worthy addition to Kubrick's career, and yeah, so it's a good one. You know, it's not going to win any awards or anything, but it got kind of mixed reviews when it came out, and yeah, it's also not going to be the most successful film of Kubrick's career, but it's a good one. You know, it's a good one. I'd go out of my way to kind of see it again. You know, if and I'd recommend it to anyone really, even non-Kubrick fans. The sense of kind of film noir. If you're a film noir fan, you're going to like it. It's got that real kind of vibe to it, and there's a fantastic shot. I mean, it's this on the cover. It's actually a kind of a painting. It looks like, but in the film is actually, this is the actual shot. I mean, look at that. That is incredible. That's like the scene in it with the guy with the kind of the clown mask. Really, really scary. And I mean, that arc is incredible. You know, like I say, that is actually kind of a painting, but in the film it is actually that. And yeah, so I'd recommend it, and worth checking it out. So yep, that was The Killing. So that'll about do for this part. Part 6 will be coming soon, so I hope you'll join me again for the next instalment of 2014, A Kubrick Odyssey.